Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing part 2 of my 100 breakdown video for the 100 Season 6 trailer. As always, if you like the 100 or if you're interested in the 100 content, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss any more future 100 rated videos. Now let's begin. Next, picking up where we left off from the trailer, we got this shot of this guy in the woods on a motorcycle. Now, I don't know if this is a member of Russell's group or if this is a member of our own group. I'm not sure. We see him riding a motorcycle. Now, I know Shaw, they mentioned in Season 5, he was a motorcycle guy or something. He was big into that. So maybe it has something to do with him. I'm curious to see what goes on with him this season, and I'm interested to see what goes on. Then we got this shot of our group walking through what I can't tell if this is like a cornfield or like a burnt down area or something, but there's a sign that says caution. So I'm curious if this is marking off some kind of territory or if this is some kind of area where it's like that is not inhabitable. I'm interested to see what goes on there, but it again reminds me too much of the Grounders. Even here, you got this shot of some guy. He's with a mask on, similar to the Grounders. I don't know. I'm getting a lot of Season 1 Grounder vibes. Again, I like when they do those things, but this just feels like they're trying to copy it, and I don't like when they copy it. It's okay if they want to pay homage to the earlier seasons, but if they're going to copy storylines, that's just lazy writing, and I think they all need to be fired if that's the case. But then you got Clarke here, and I think that's Bellamy in the background, and she's talking about how we have no idea how to survive here. Now, this is the part of the trailer I'm like, really? You had to add that in? I feel like you could have told us that without having Clarke literally break the fourth wall and tell us that. Like, I feel like that was just a silly, cringy moment in the trailer that I didn't really like. It just felt like, oh, really? You had to go there, didn't you? But then you got this shot of this guy, this new character. I'm thinking he's going to be the villain. You see him, from what we can tell in the trailer, he's holding up Clarke at gunpoint and a few of our survivors that were in like that cornfield place, saying that if you fight, you'll die quicker or something like that. So I think he's going to be our main antagonist, and you hear Clarke saying that I'm out here looking for my daughter, and that's all I really want. And then I'll leave you alone or whatever. So my prediction here is that Clarke is probably maybe on a mission to find Maddie. Something happened. Maybe Maddie's been infected by the eclipse-induced psychosis, and maybe Russell's group has this protocol where when they get infected, they take them someplace, and they took Maddie against Clarke's will, and Clarke's now trying to journey to that place to find her. Again, a lot like Mount River, which I don't really like. And it's questionable. Right now, I'm thinking that these guys are going to be the bad guy. Russell's going to be the bad guy. And maybe what's going to happen is that Clarke doesn't totally trust Russell and his group right away. Everything goes crazy with the eclipse-induced psychosis. Maddie gets infected, and he thinks, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to kill these guys, and, blah, 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 stuff like that. She wants to go back there and kill them all or whatever. Runs into these guys. These guys turn out to be the actual bad guys, and and Clarke and them end up having to join forces with Russell to defeat this bad guy. But let me know what your thoughts, opinions are on that theory. Do you like it, or do you think it's a little bit too complex and dynamic, or would you want something a little bit more simple when it comes to villains and protagonists in this season? Then we got this shot and voiceover of Russell and Clarke talking, and you got Russell talking to probably some unnamed character yet, that he doesn't totally trust these guys, and how Clarke's group is dangerous and they destroyed their last world, and they're gonna destroy this world too, so he doesn't totally trust them. And we see them go, at least some of our group, I don't think we see Russell or whatever, on the dropship. Maybe they're hiding Russell, and he goes up there, sees some of the prisoners, and thinks that, okay, these guys are dangerous, we can't trust them, and that's something that happens, and that makes Clarke not trust them as well. Maybe there's some leftover stuff with some of McCreary's group who wanna cause some trouble. Maybe that's why he thinks that they can't be trusted or dangerous. I'm curious to see what goes on there. Then you got Clarke who says, we want to do better, we want to help. And he says, I want to believe that, but I don't think you can. So maybe what they might do, and I think this would be an interesting storyline to do, is maybe they're doing something where they're trying to prove that Jasper was wrong, and like the plot and like the kind of story of this season is, are they really the good guys or the bad guys? And I think it'd be interesting if they ended off with Clarke and them being the bad guys, and our group is, and we're actually following like a group of people who are technically anti-heroes, maybe villains in some people's eyes. I think that'd be a curious thing to do and something interesting that not a lot of TV shows do, and I think it'd be something different and might be able to differentiate the 100 a little bit more than just the kind of generic post-apocalyptic show. But let me know how you feel about that in the comment section down below. Then we got a shot of Murphy here opening the door, and he makes a joke about how, oh, this one's unlocked. Now, I know some people thought this was a funny scene. It was cringy at best for me. Now, I'm curious to know why they're like opening doors or whatever. We hear a siren go off earlier in the trailer. That could be just like a protocol to go on lockdown for when the psychosis comes in. Or they could have been on lockdown and they saw our group coming in and gone on lockdown and hid. And that's why the doors are locked, and our group's just kind of looking around trying to find people or whatever. Then you got the shot of Clarke, and you got a voiceover from her talking about how if I could go back and do it all over again, I'd do it differently. Now, this could be one of two things. This could either be her talking about the story overall, everything that's happened so far, or this could be going off of my theory about how maybe she judged Russell's group too early and now is regretting it. I think it'd be more interesting if it was that case and she just misjudged them and now she's regretting that choice. Then you got this shot here of our group all standing here. I'm assuming this might be where they're taken in. Maybe this is where they meet with Russell, or where they're waiting to meet with Russell. And it's not much else to go off of there. I'm just assuming it's just either them waiting to meet with Russell or actually meeting with Russell. Then we got here a clip. I think that's Raven. I can't really tell, but I think it's Raven. And just we get a bunch of shots of people freaking out due to the psychosis. So like I said, maybe they're taken somewhere else to get treatment. I'm interested to see what goes on to eclipse-induced psychosis. I'm curious to see what that storyline entails, and I think it'd be definitely something that could help the show out, maybe if it's handled well and executed decently. Next, we got this shot of Murphy, and he's by some kind of fire or whatever, and he makes a comment about how he either saw a vision or he thinks he's going to hell or whatever. Now, I know a lot of fans will just brush this off as like a Murphy comment or, oh, Murphy's just being Murphy. However, I think it could be an interesting setup. I love Murphy, and I think he's one of my favorite characters. However, I do think it could be his time to go. I've been saying this for a few seasons now, especially with how many characters have gone and still are around. Like, kill them off and bring in some new characters, or push some more characters to the forefront so we can get more of them. That's just my opinion. As much as I love him, I think it's good. It's a good time for him to go. Maybe he saves Maddie when they're out looking for her or something like that. I think it'd be an interesting thing to see, like him sacrificing himself, similar to like the Negan stuff in the finale of The Walking Dead. I think it'd be an interesting story arc, and his story is pretty much full circle. If he is now a member of the group, he's full circle. Like, there's nothing more he can do. And I feel like it'd be a good time for him to be killed off. That's just my opinion, even though I do very much enjoy the character. Then we got a shot of Maddie. Now, we hear earlier in the trailer her talk about how she's seen a new commander that scares her. Now, we know most likely that this season we're going to see her transitioning and becoming the commander. So we'll probably learn more about the commander heritage, the lineage, and stuff like that. We'll probably see Becca. There's a chance we could get to see some Lexa, depending on Alicia Demnam Carey's schedule with Fear. We don't know exactly what could go on, but I do think there's a possibility that she could return. I know fans would prefer her and Clarke to share a scene, but I think it'd probably be more her and Maddie. It'd just make more sense. I'm all for that. Honestly, I found Lexa to be overrated with Clarke. However, I feel like in this scenario, I would be okay with it. I think it'd fit in perfectly with her transitioning to become the full-fledged commander. I think that would make sense, and I'd be curious to see what they do with that. Now, Then we got this last scene here of Russell again, and he welcomes everybody to the community, which is called Sanctum. Nothing much else to go off of there. Just, I don't know. I was very much disappointed with how season 5 played out. I honestly was almost done with this show as a whole after season 5. It just frustrated me, it annoyed me, and I'll get more into that when I finish up my episode reviews. However, I do have some hope. I think this could be a better season. I think that it could be a new beginning story arc similar to The Walking Dead. As long as they don't just copy and paste some stuff that they did from earlier seasons and then just replace it here. If they do that, then I'm going to be done. I'm going to give it a few episodes, review them, and give you my thoughts and opinions. I know a lot of fans at 100, and I'm not being mean, but I know a lot of them will just kiss the ass of the show and say it's all great and good. But I'm not going to do that. I want you to know that right here, right now, before you go on. I'm going to point out where I think the 100 can improve, what I don't like about it, what I do like about it. I'm going to be honest. I think that's the best thing to do, and if you don't like it, I apologize. And if you don't want to subscribe and watch my reviews, that's fine. You can do that. But I think as someone who's reviewing the show, it's my job to point out where the show's good, where the show's bad. So definitely, if you're interested in that kind of review, definitely stick around and stay tuned for my future reviews of The 100. As a trailer, though, I think it was pretty good. Overall, I think they did show a little bit too much, but I think they did their job because they did make me more interested than I was before, and I'm definitely going to check it out, like I said. But let me know what you thought of it. Overall, if I had to give the trailer a rating, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Let me know how you feel about the trailer, though, in the comment section down below. So yeah, guys, that's part 2 of my The 100 Season 6 trailer breakdown video. If you haven't already, don't forget to check out part 1. I'll have it at the end of the video or up above or linked in the description box, somewhere around there. So definitely look for it and check it out if you haven't already. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that bell icon. That way don't miss any more future content of The 100 from me in the future. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.